been a major boost for the pro-democracy protesters, and US President Donald Trump has expressed support for their movement. US President Donald Trump has signed 2 bills regarding the situation in Hong Kong, which are reasons why the protesters on the ground have expressed their relief. The democracy activists and supporters held a Thanksgiving rally to express their gratitude towards the US for passing the Human Rights and Democracy Act. Donald Trump has said that he signed these bills out of respect for the people of Hong Kong, for President Xi Jinping, and out of respect for China. He added that he hopes that the leaders and representatives of China and Hong Kong will be able to amicably settle their differences. The first bill, and the more contentious one, is called the Human Rights and Democratic Act. It requires Washington to annually check if Hong Kong's special freedoms are being maintained by Beijing, and failure to do so could result in the withdrawal of the city's special trade status. And this special status ensures that it is not subjected to US tariffs that are levied on goods imported from mainland China. Rejecting the Hong Kong extradition bill, which triggered the protests in the very first place, the bill says that while Hong Kong is an integral part of China, it has a separate legal and economic system. And not just that, the bill says that Hong Kong residents who have been arrested for participating in non-violent protests should be allowed to obtain American visas. The second bill bans the export of crowd control munitions, including tear gas and rubber bullets, to the police in Hong Kong. Hong Kong's pro-democracy activist Joshua Wong has welcomed the move, even as the tensions escalated between the US and China amid negotiations to end a trade war. And joining us on the broadcast this minute is our correspondent, Grace Lee. Grace, this of course comes as a huge relief for the protesters on the ground. They have been demanding international support as well. But to what extent do we see the administration actually taking measures to make sure that things actually change on the ground?
Well, according to legal experts, the U.S. already kind of had the power to potentially give sanctions to those in Hong Kong that they deem to be violating human rights as well. They also had the potential power to take away Hong Kong's special economic status with the U.S. as well. So largely what experts are saying is that these 2 bills are pretty much just a message to Beijing that the U.S. is fully behind the protesters here in Hong Kong, and it was more of a symbolic gesture than anything else. It's not clear whether or not the U.S. will actually act on them, but whether they do or not, at this point, perhaps doesn't really matter. And to point out how this is affecting the protesters here on the ground, I'm here at the Thanksgiving rally. There are thousands of protesters here cheering for the U.S., singing the U.S. anthem, waving U.S. flags. You can kind of see a few of them behind me, but the mood here has been very jovial, and it seems that protesters their spirits are high for the first time in weeks, perhaps months. The situation at Poly U deteriorating for the past couple of days, that's been very heavy on their minds, and it's been very quiet for the past couple of days, especially because of the local elections where the government threatened to shut down the elections altogether if there were any violent protests. So that's why we've been seeing kind of a lull in the protests here, but they're back on the streets now, and it seems like they have a renewed energy because of those 2 bills.
Renewed energy, definitely, as a result of the support that they've received from the United States. But as we just discussed, it is a strong message that the U.S. has sent out to China. China, of course, has reacted by calling the U.S. envoy. But all of this does not really change things on the ground for the protesters. They have, of course, expressed their gratitude to the U.S. We're going to leave it there for the moment, Grace. Appreciate very much joining us on the broadcast with those details and perspectives.